The moon is now in Aries and the sun is in Virgo. Let's check what does that mean. Leave a like and subscribe, use the links down below, and let's get into it. Aries means new expressions, new feelings, new actions, new creativity, new aggression, new passion, new motivation, new frustration, new desires, new personality, and new personal insecurities and personal interests. The moon means attraction, reaction, response, feelings, emotions, and places of comfort, privacy, generation, and regeneration. So, Moon in Aries means new emotions, feelings, attractions, and new places of personal comfort and personal insecurities that are being internally seen, expressed, or perceived as entirely new things or in a new way. Sun in Virgo means that your actions, expressions, visions, and wants are more mutable, flexible, or scattered, and that they are caring more for safety, structure, organization, profit, and efficiency, with a more internal and personal tone due to the fact of Virgo being the internal side of Mercury. This alignment can bring misunderstandings between your new personal and intense feelings and yours and others' wants to be seen, act, and express in real, practical, mutable, and flexible ways. The misunderstanding comes from the energy of Aries creating more intense, creative, and spiritual energies, while the energy of Virgo creates more calm, structured, and realistic energies. The common ground, though, comes from the uniqueness and personality in both energies. Virgo uses that to adapt their routines and patterns to their personal preferences and personal rhythms, while Aries uses those things to express, be seen, and feel. This alignment on its own can bring new feelings of creativity, spirituality, excitement, and frustration, or the need to leave or change into your routines, patterns, and organizations. Also, you and others might want to be seen, to be in general, or express in a more practical and organized way about new feelings, new passion, new frustration, or new creativity. You might feel unable to fit the new creativity, excitement, passion, and frustration into your routines and patterns due to the inconjunction of this alignment. Also, you might not understand why you and others have new excitements or new frustrations dealing with routines, patterns, and organizations. Also, you and others might feel frustrated or excited about work, stress, and routines, but might be not able to see a realistic enough way to express them in mutable or flexible ways. On a positive side, though, you might be attracted or might be attracting new opportunities to work, organize, or associate with routines, patterns, and security systems that involve your personal interests, creativity, and individuality. And there is a chance that you might not even be able to see those opportunities coming, or you might see them but stumble upon some realistic reason or a reason connected to reality to deny them because of the misunderstanding aspect. So make sure to believe in yourself and in all possibilities to enjoy or get close to enjoy those opportunities. Also, on another positive note, you might act more relaxed, more flexible, and more free without losing practicality and stability due to new potential feelings of creativity, excitement, and passion. Also, you might be able to create new feelings that motivate you or others to create new solutions within your routine, patterns, work, stress, health, and organization. Now that we've seen some examples of what this alignment might bring into your life, let's check the tarot card to identify the general space of this alignment, and it is the Nine of Cups Andromeda. So this means that you have the opportunity to elevate your emotions and feelings, to elevate your understanding and your awareness of the unseen realm, of dreams, illusions, nightmares, and spirituality in general. But be careful because you also might elevate somebody else's dreams and illusions, or you might prioritize, you might put feelings, emotions, dreams, and pleasures above your spirit, above your uniqueness, and above your individuality. Because Andromeda has a lot of stories about being kidnapped or about somebody else trying to force a marriage or a connection with that goddess or constellation. So make sure that you are not exciting or elevating feelings and emotions that don't really profit or belong to you. But in general, it's a great opportunity to create new feelings and emotions about excitement, passion, and frustration with the moon in Aries, and then apply them to routines and patterns and to your internal systems, to your internal workings. Because Virgo, when used with spirituality or when used with wisdom and knowledge, can also describe and detail your inner workings mentally, emotionally, and physically. That's why this Nine of Cups can also symbolize you upgrading or elevating your ability to perceive, be aware, and understand of your internal workings and systems. And what's the best way to use that Nine of Cups? Is with the royal blue and gold dragon. So, what this means is to focus firstly on your internal realm, on your own emotions and feelings, on communication within yourself. Then drive, see, be aware, and then express to yourself, personal space, or bigger audiences, the uniqueness, the individuality, the values. Or if you don't see a suitable audience, don't express it because of the royalness in this blue and gold dragon. So you gotta see yourself as very valuable, as the king and the main value of your own situation, of your own space, then focus within your emotions and feelings, within your creativity, attraction, and genesis power, and then see, create, and not necessarily obligatory, but also express the uniqueness, the value, the jewel of the crown within your own realm. And that's very important so you can focus in your own true internal values, in your own expression of your core set of values in order to expand your awareness or those values, those emotions, those feelings, those spiritual attributes and abilities. And then this dragon really helps you focus that within your own space and to recognize the value, the jewels, and the wisdom and knowledge within your own value and within your own experiences. Now, let's take a look at how the moon in Aries and sun in Virgo are aligning the rest of the natal chart. We have Mercury in Virgo in conjuncting the moon, conjuncting the sun. This means that you might be misunderstanding yours and others' mutable, flexible, or scattered ways to think, communicate, and analyze about structure, organization, health, work, and reality in general. And that comes from your new feelings of passion, motivation, aggression, or frustration, because that leads more into spiritual, creative, and unique spaces. And you might be misunderstanding even your own thoughts, even your own actions and expressions, because Mercury conjuncting the Sun, because you feeling more unique, more realistic, more ready and able to change and create some things without a plan, or that the plan is not that realistic, but then your mind and others' minds and actions are a bit more focused into reality, into structure. So the misunderstanding can come from there. Then we have Venus in Leo trining the moon in Aries and fatally attracting the sun in Virgo. This is a gift to feel new feelings and emotions and to attract new people, places, and things that are more spiritual, more creative, and that bring or you bring new feelings and emotions of passion, frustration, anger, and motivation into relationships or ways to relate, commit, share, and have pleasure that are more fixed, stubborn, or consistent, and that deal more with validation, with entertainment and pleasure. So, this is a gift to initiate new things into those relationships, but also Venus and Leo is bringing a gift of consistency, validation, and an ease to have a stable and consistent way to relate or feel related and validated. And then Sun in Virgo can make that more practical while flexible and can make you focus and use that fire, that spirituality, that pleasure, that uniqueness into something more practical and efficient that can bring you more money, more peace of mind, or just better ways to go about your routines and patterns. Then we have Mars in Libra opposing the Moon in Aries and Fatal attracting the Sun in Libra. So you might feel opposed or balanced by yours and others' new ways to think, communicate, and analyze in balanced, sophisticated, and social ways about passion, frustration, anger, motivation, creativity, spirituality, and deep desires. And this might sound similar with the moon in Aries because Mars rules Aries. Aries is the external side of Mars. So there is here a common ground easier to achieve than usual because Moon in Aries opposing Mars in Libra, but Mars rules Aries, so that the bridge is easier to connect. So you might feel opposed because others might want to create or receive new ways to communicate passion and frustration in more sophisticated, more light, more pleasurable ways. And you might feel the need to experience or attract something more raw, intense, real, and spiritual. On the other side, the passion or frustration to communicate in sophisticated or about sophisticated and balanced things or situations can help you feel more calm, can help you feel more valuable, can help you feel more beautiful, connected, and supported because your feelings might be too intense, too reckless, too insecure, or too unique. And then Mars in Libra can help you connect and find a support mentally, relationship wise, or physically. And then the Sun in Virgo can help you or others associate their mutable routines and patterns with your new feelings and new ways to express them in a more realistic and sophisticated way. Then we have Jupiter in Cancer squaring the Moon in Aries and sextiling the Sun in Virgo. So this means that you are learning how to feel more unique, more alone, but also more real, motivated, angry, or spiritual about new expansions, new travels, new wisdom and knowledge, and new personal testimonies that deal with emotions, feelings, attraction, the subconscious and spiritual realm, and spiritual or emotional places of comfort and generation. So, this is very important because sometimes we achieve new spiritual conclusions, we achieve new emotional spaces, we achieve new spiritual powers, but we afraid to go to those new spaces, or we don't have enough energy to burst through, or we too afraid to be alone, or we too afraid to look in a certain way, we too afraid to break something. And today we're learning to be comfortable, we're learning how to attract situations that need us, and we need to be more aggressive, more passionate, more motivated, more deep and more desireful to then initiate new worlds. Because Cancer, it's all about initiating new worlds, new spaces, new moods, new travels, new wisdom, new knowledge. And with Jupiter in there, we are learning how to expand on those things while feeling unique, intense, real, creative, and spiritual. Then we have Saturn in Pisces retrograde coming from Aries. So Moon in Aries can help us remember and re-attract or go deeper into past events where we were dealing with, we were associating yourselves, being associated or being aware of new systems, new routines, new patterns, new networking, new structures, or new ways to be real that dealt more and came from passion, motivation, anger, frustration, deep desires, personality, personal insecurity, or personal interests. And now that Saturn is in Pisces, with the moon in Aries, we have the ability to feel more ready, more unique, more passionate, more frustrated, more insecure, or more excited about structure, organization, and structured mentalities that deal more with the ability to be mutable and associate dreams and illusions, feelings and emotions, imagination, creativity, and spirituality. Also, Sun in Virgo here is bringing a balance so you and others can see, act, and express in more realistic, practical, and efficient ways. So we can bring the spirituality, dreams, and illusions of Saturn in Pisces into something real, into something that can work, and then we can feel ready to initiate, to express, and to be passionate or frustrated in order to apply those limits and boundaries, or in order to apply energy so that system can work to make spiritual structures come true, to create the connection between Saturn and the Sun. Then we have Uranus in Gemini, sextiling the Moon in Aries and squaring the Sun in Virgo. This is an opportunity to feel more intense, real, spiritually passionate, and frustrated, and to then share that, communicate, think, and analyze and associate in a more mutable, flexible, and scattered way, and also in a way or about things that bring uniqueness, individuality, opposition, or rebelliousness. Also, it's an opportunity to receive and absorb communication, news, information, or school of thoughts that deal with aggression, war, opposition, and rebellion. And with the Sun in Virgo, we are learning how to see the real value, the real structure, the real efficiency and progress within the communication and information that is being brought to us in a lighter way, in a more cold and detached way about opposition, rebelliousness, change, uniqueness, individuality, and innovation. Then we have Neptune in Aries conjuncting the moon in Aries, so we feeling, we being more spiritually aware, or we attracted or attracting new perspectives, new feelings, new passions, and frustrations that come out of archetypal and generational dreams and illusions, curses and gifts. And the Sun in Virgo, and with the Sun in Virgo, you and others might be misunderstanding how to see, act, and express those things in a realistic, flexible, and mutable way. Lastly but not least, we have Pluto in Aquarius sextiling the moon in Aries and in conjuncting the sun in Virgo. So this is an opportunity to feel excited or nervous, to feel unique or no value, and to feel interested or excited or to feel opposed and smothered or diminished by the new world or the transformation process, the power, the war struggles into that new world where you are going to be a unique mind that can express yourself in a stable, realistic, but still flexible and progressive way, or you can associate yourself with a mentality, organization, or structure that builds up and supports systems that allow and help growth, uniqueness, individuality, reality, flexibility, and progress. So you can feel extra excited about that transformation process, or you can feel new ways to be smothered and diminished in front of that new process and that new world. But with the sun in Virgo, misunderstanding those two aspects, you can be oblivious to those feelings and emotions on a realistic way. You might not be able to make sense out of them until you realize that slowly but surely we've been adapting, we've been changing, we've been incorporating those new feelings and that new transformation into your routines and patterns, into how you speak and communicate about reality, efficiency, and organization. Or you might have more alignments in Virgo or Earth elements, for an example, and you might be already aware of those things, and you can see where you and others were or are currently misunderstanding those aspects, and you can bring to yourself and others as well more practicality, organization, and structure that allows the flexibility, mutability, and necessary association skills to incorporate extreme newness, extreme individuality, uniqueness, rebellious, and opposition. Also, Sun in Virgo can really help these two alignments, Moon in Aries and Pluto in Aquarius, to not go too far with opposition and rebelliousness, or to be efficient and to have the right targets and the right ways to bring uniqueness, individuality, opposition, and rebelliousness, while or with the goal to obtain more efficient, profitable, structured, yet mutable situations, relationships, structures, and infrastructures. That's everything for today. Thank you very much for watching. I wish you the best thoughts, ideas, feelings, and emotions. Believe in yourself and other possibilities. Until the next time, I see you soon.